Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I hope everybody's having a good day. So, for the pre-shuffle, I have the Oracle cards and then the Spirit Animal cards that came up. So, Spirit's definitely, whomever this is for, acknowledging, you know, how far you've already come on your path. So, reward and recognition. Congratulations. Your hard work will soon pay off and take you in the direction of your dreams. Acknowledge your efforts and your own power. And then honor yourself. Recognize the hard work you've put into get where you are today. Instead of thinking how far you still have to go, remind yourself of all that you've accomplished and be proud. Step back. You're being asked to step back from your life in order to gain perspective. When you're too close to see a situation, it can be hard to make a decision. Span out and view your life from a distance so you can get the perspective needed. And then at the bottom of that was connect to intuition. Repeating patterns are keeping you from making a new choice in this situation. Break free from old ways of thinking and ask for a new insight. So, you know, aside from the obvious literal definitions, you know, I think it's like a pause. Like the step back, it's like a pause. Like you've gotten to this point in your journey, and you're done with a bunch of old stuff, and you've come this far and put in a lot of work. So now, you know, a lot of intuition came through for this pre-shuffle too once I got into the tarot cards. So now I think when you're stepping back, I want you to realize all through this journey and the decisions you made, whether they're quote-unquote bad or good or whatever, they're still the decisions you made that brought you here, inevitably, right? So even if a decision seems like a bad decision in the moment, if you had made a different decision, you wouldn't be here, right? So think back and think of all the different decisions and pivots you made and stuff like that, and give yourself a little credit for having listened to your intuition then, even if you didn't realize maybe that's what you were doing. And when you do that, I want you to have the confidence going forward to listen to your intuition, because you're going to be having new decisions coming up. It's not going to be the same stuff that you're used to. Right now it's going to be a little more challenging. Like you've stepped up to medium on Rock Band or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like these are going to be a little more challenging, so it's not going to be as fun, I guess. Like right now I think you're on like cloud 9 and like you're coasting along and everything's great, but like that first speed bump when you're coasting along, you know, and like maybe people are like telling you how great everything is and you're, you know, and stuff like that, and then that's a heavy crash. But but know just relative to how awesome you feel, right? So it's not really a big, huge crash. It's just probably going to be a little check. Like, alright. You know, it's like when your car gets its first ding in the parking lot. You're like, oh, well, now it's done. But just keep it in that perspective. Don't let it be like a disaster and ruin your life. That's what I'm saying. Whatever the next hard thing you have to come up against, don't be like, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. No, it's just a challenge. It's just a new challenge. It's not saying you made the wrong decision, if that makes sense. Okay. For your spirit animals, we got rabbit. And the rabbit is living by your wits, receiving hidden teachings and intuitive messages. Quick thinking, humility, moving through fear, strengthening intuition, and fertility. Rabbit tells you that you have everything you need, though some of your skills and gifts may need to be developed further. You have an idea of what you want to do and where you want to go. Move through the fear that is keeping you from moving forward. Your creativity is high right now, so take advantage of it. Look out for a possible windfall of abundance in all aspects that abundance covers. Is imminent. I want to mention during this little bit because it mentions moving past the fear. This is a rabbit. And it's funny because yesterday I got like a download of sorts about fear. And more so of like the fear of failure. Like when you have that fear that you're going to fail and you procrastinate or you stall doing something, right? Because you're like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. If you're in that kind of situation, I want you to think about this, that the fact that you're able to be afraid and not do something is almost like a luxury. Because if you don't have a backup, or you're not in a good position to begin with, or you know, again, no one's coming to save you. You don't have like your parents, you don't have a spouse, you don't have a whatever, to you know, back you up if something doesn't work out, or just in general, you don't. Oh, sorry. I hope that didn't make a big noise. You don't have the luxury to be afraid to do something. You just have to do it. So that's why I might sound harsh when I say to people like, well, you just have to do it. You know, because I've been in instances where it's like I didn't have a choice. You just have to do it. So it can be done. It's just I think you gain the confidence over time of like, well, you know, what if you fail? No, but what if I win? Because if you win, you did it. If you fail, okay, well, why did I fail? And now you could try again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the fear of failure, be grateful that you have the ability to take a pause and be afraid, if that's what you're going through. You know, right there, that in itself is something to be grateful for. On the bottom of the deck, which is interesting, which is the hawk, which I'm pretty sure is a direct predator to a rabbit. Hawk attributes: clear-sightedness, being observant, messages from spirit, guardianship, recalling past lives, illumination, seeing the larger picture, creativity, truth, experience, wise use of opportunities, overcoming problems. The hawk is a message. Hawk is a message and points to omens. Pay attention, spirit will be giving you some messages. Ordinary life is never quite that ordinary. Signs and symbols are all around you. Watch, listen, and be still so you can hear what is being said. What is holding you back from soaring to the greatest height? Yeah, so there's a lot about, like, your messages and your guides and listening to your intuition. So it seems to me like you've gotten to the point of your path of trusting yourself and believing in yourself. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like. So for the tarot cards, I just the 3 decks that I'm using. They're original right away. What came through, it seems like you're about to take a risk of some sort. Because of some new information or like some new way you've been brought to like see a situation or think about something. Before you do take this risk, it looks like there's an important message about the new offer or opportunity coming in, and it could be regarding the main person involved. Possible red flags, a heartbreak of some sort, disappointment, something like that. As you prepare to embark on this path, you may be getting advice from people around you. And Spirit wants you to be sure that you follow your own intuition above all else, because that's what got you here in the first place. So you've earned you haven't earned confidence. I said you haven't earned confidence. Just remember, when it's better to observe and learn instead of boast and brag, especially when you are in a new situation of any kind. Like, it's easy, it's not even like, you might not think it's boasting and bragging, right? You might just be trying to say what you're capable of, what your skills are, blah, 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 you know, but to someone who doesn't know you yet, it might come off like you're just trying to, like, brag or whatever. That's what I was kind of getting, like that type of example. If you're coming into a situation new and fresh, you kind of sit back a little bit, you know, and pay attention to what's going on first. You know, and I got, like, don't be so stubborn and refuse to see anyone else's view or perspective or opinion, etc. And understand you don't have to be right to have an opinion. I think this is going to be your next learning curve, is how to almost like integrate yourself back out with other people and practice the healing that you're able to do on your own. Just because something works for you or works from wherever you learned it or whatever, this works with this person for this reason, right? So just listen. You might learn something. They might learn something. I think you have to realize not everything has to be a conflict. Not everything has to be a debate. Not everybody's trying to prove you wrong. I'm getting a real like defense kind of feeling right now talking about it. Not everybody's trying to prove you're wrong or know less than you say you do. They could just be trying to add to your knowledge, right? Stop talking so much. Stop talking so much. Yeah, I'm getting that. That's kind of interesting. You're gonna, once you start like really healing and seeing things, you're gonna see nothing, absolutely zero, and is like personal in this life. I swear. Unless it's like obviously someone you know deliberate to you, and yes, of course that is. But generally speaking, people walk around waiting for the attack, and half of the attacks aren't even really an attack. So, you get what you ask for, right? If you're running around looking for conflict, you're gonna find it. If you're going around trying to live a peaceful existence, you will, because you're not gonna go near it. So I think I'm just gonna do a simple Celtic cross. Thank you, Spirit. Our main reading has begun. Thank you to all my guards and angels, and guardians, spirit, divine for guiding me with all the beautiful messages lately. Let's get a good message for my collective who needs it. The message is always timeless. You'll find it when you need to. When you need to. I have ones. I get videos that will just randomly start playing in an autoplay. Sometimes my autoplay doesn't even work. But that are like years old from people. And I'm like, huh. So I'll listen. It's always this one reader that sure stuff comes up as like a random. Alright, so let's see what we got. The bottom of the deck is Ten of Swords, so I'm going to put it over here, because I like to shuffle the deck while I'm interpreting, but I want to keep the true bottom there. Okay. The situation at hand, the Queen of Cups, that was one of the cards that came through during the pre-shuffle. So, if the conflict is, you know, your stability, your home life, your, you know, this is kind of like, which makes sense. You're like checkpoint. So this is what's the issue, the plan. I think the what's coming next. You're at your checkpoint. you've kind of learned a lot of lessons, you're stable, you're reflecting on those things. And I think, again, I think you're trying to decide, or you're feeling out, or you're embarking on what this next path is. And the root is the Hermit, which, again, you know, your self-exploration, your answers within you. And I think that's the problem. I think you're kind of just not sure for whatever reason. I don't even know what is the next step. Is it a relationship that we're talking about? It could be because of this, but this could just be like, again, because everything is pointing to like the Fool card, right before the journey. So you could be really trying to assess what is important in your life and where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. You know, it's like those kind of thoughts. And you're like, okay, here's this checkpoint. I'm not going to have too many of these, right? No matter how old you are, just in general, like to stop and be able to plan and stuff. Like I said, have the luxury of being able to have a little fear and contemplate. Recent past, you were you had a victory after a battle, you know. So again, right in line with everything, you fought to get where you are. You've come a long way. The thing that's most heavy on your mind, everything. I think it's everything. Again, this is very much to me trying to figure something out, and you're kind of recouping from all the work you just did. Even emotionally, you could be exhausted, you know, and that could be why you're not clear on what your next step is either, because the moon is in your future. Maybe you can't know yet. It might be more like your body's kind of getting ready for a spiritual type of like upgrade as well, to support your new life, since you're now like consistently in it. You've gained enough experience points that you can level up, and the leveling up is what's happening right now. So it's like you're figuring out what's the next steps. You're gaining back your, like, filling back up your cup, so to speak, because yeah, underlying everything, it was a hard battle that you're coming back from. So in the future, I think, aside from unknown right now and kind of illusion, I think it's because during this rejuvenation period, I think the reassessing now that you can kind of, after it's done and reassess everything, I think some things are going to start trickling. Like, wait a minute, like hindsight type of thing. So I think you're going to have to maybe address some of those. Yeah. I think part of you doesn't want to. You would rather just kind of skip over that part. King of Wands just popped up. Temperance for your current energy. Again, that totally makes sense. Like trying to find your balance and your patience and your, you know, combining everything you've learned, everything you know. Yeah. Trying to get your stability, get your footing, stay in your emotions. Don't lose your emotions while staying grounded at the same time while you're trying to make all these new plans. your environment, yeah, you're working towards your future, diligently. It seems like, if that's your environment, it seems like maybe possibly there's like other people doing the same. Hopes and fears, the Tower, whatever decision you end up making, you just don't want to make the wrong one. Because, like, you're hoping this will be, like, the nail in the coffin, like, of your old life starting a new life. So that's like a Tower, right? Ripping it down into the foundation. And on the other hand, you don't want to make the wrong decision and have it be a negative type of Tower. Possible final outcome is, the Empress, reaping what you've sown. You put a lot of work in, you have a lot of experience, you're able to see things from a lot of different perspectives because of that, and you're able to be fair and kind to others, also because of your experiences. So that's a pretty good ending, if you ask me. It's just like, what's going on in your head that's like bothering you about this, and what is the the future holding there. The Lovers is on the bottom for the second little shuffled bit, and that's gonna come down to a mind over heart decision. Now remember, there was a warning. About whatever it was that you were going to embark on. So maybe that's why there's some illusion there. Sorry, I just hit the mic again. But I think you're ready for it, too. Because I'm taking notice, of the dog and the fox. Although, I think it's a fox in this one. Sometimes it's a wolf. Seeing the moon and noticing the moonbeams coming off of it. I feel like those are little, like, I never noticed that before. The little, yeah, it must be moonbeams. To me, those are all the things that you're starting to kind of notice. It won't be like full in the sun, but you're like, what is that? It's caught your attention. Boy, watch out for this guy. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by what's glittering and miss this. This is what you're watching for. The little crab coming out, lobster. Alright, Spirit, tell me a little more about the Queen of Cups, about the situation. I didn't censor this deck yet, so I'm hoping nothing inappropriate pops up. If it does, I'll just cover it. Tell me, please, about the Queen of Cups. What is that indicating? Oh, whoa. Yeah, yep. Alright, so we got the Seven of Swords came out, and then this definitely came out too, in the Four of Cups. That so makes sense. Yeah, I'm taking this as you're trying to make your strategy, but you're not sure how to get started. You don't know what you want. Alright, and what's the conflict? Why is the Four of Wands conflict? Or obstacle, I guess. What is it? I'm just gonna put these like this so I can see them. We know which way they came out though. Alright, so you try to make your exit or your strategy, you know. And again, the conflict, the obstacle is this is like your next goal, like or like you've gone to the checkpoint, and you're figuring out how to move on to the next goal. That's the obstacle, and I think this is confirming that. Like, how are you moving forward? With you know, taking action, going towards what you love, what you want to do, following your intuition, taking action, and following your intuition. What is this root of everything? You know what? The root of it, because you're probably dissecting everything, you're confusing yourself. The perfectionist of the Virgo is coming out in the Hermit, and it's like, but what if this is better? But what if this is better? But what if I pick this and this is better? Yeah, that's what you're obsessing. Because, well, I think, you know, you're probably, again, if you had a big fight to get here, you're not going to want to do that again. I think maybe where at one time you were a little more, again, possibly before you didn't have the luxury of stopping and thinking about it, you just had to go and do it. And now that you do, you're like, oh, I wish almost like I didn't have to make this choice. I wish someone else had to just make this choice for me. I don't like being a manager. I'd much rather be an assistant manager. I can relay the message well. I don't like to be the one who makes up the enforcing. Tell me, please, about this Hermit. Or maybe the Hermit's just self-explanatory. Like you just explained it. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're dissecting everything in this cup before you take it. Or it's like, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, because it's like, here, now you have the intuition, you have the love for yourself, you have everything it takes to be able to handle this cup. And you're like, I don't know like, what's in that cup? Who all's gonna be there? So you're really scrutinizing every offer, which is, again, that goes along with the, message. Maybe this message is making you, maybe this message is making you overthink. If so, I'm sorry. But no, you're taking a look at, the offers coming in, and, I think the integrity of everything and how you feel about it. And you just want to be sure before you rush into anything. Yep. You want to be sure you're not making a foolish move, just out of that, like, instant. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about this victory. Yeah, you're very, like a cat, right? Like, every step. Is this okay? Is this okay? Because while you may have confidence in yourself after healing and coming this far, I don't think you have much in other people. Yep. Excuse me. I couldn't stop it. Okay, recent past, you have a victory. I feel like the victory was you being the King of Swords after everything, and that's how you won the victory, was by probably having to be real logical about things, and like almost stern, like rigid, no wiggle room, and that's how you did it. The Page of Pentacles, I feel like that was you seeing the opportunity to change your life. And you did it. That was your victory. Was actually putting in the work and getting real results in your life. You went from the Page of Pentacles, right? Like paying for your lessons to wield that sword, and you turn it into the king. Whatever that opportunity was that you took that changed your way of thinking and your outlook on life and your everything like that. Your mental fortitude is what your victory is for. It was you. You are the victory. And now what's next? What are you going to do with it? What is the heavy on collective's mind? You're in the aftermath of like, oh, how did I even do this? Right? You're definitely needing all kinds of rejuvenation. Again, I feel like it's a lot of try some like frequency music when you're going to sleep, or guided meditations, you know. Try and get in touch with yourself, like quiet. Sometimes it's hard to shut the noise off in your head, so that's a good way I find to do it, because if you're listening to somebody else in the guided meditation, I have to rewind it sometimes because I miss things. I start thinking over it. I don't talk over it, I think over it. But it's much more helpful than just trying to do it with nothing, I find anyway. And I started with the frequency music and worked my way into the guided meditation. The Emperor. I think you're trying to again figure it all out and figure out how to be the emperor of your life. Like, what is next? What is your end game? You know, are you gonna start a business? Are you going to you know, I think that's your, like, what you're thinking of. You're thinking bigger now. Now you know you can do it. Right, and you're just trying to figure out how. I think there's so many variables now that are open to you. And like I said, I think you're looking back and I think you're seeing things you didn't notice before. And I think you're sifting through new opportunities that might be available to you. Possibly, you may be having some spiritual experiences, awakenings of sorts, realizations, and this could also you be looking through pros and cons of different opportunities, you know, for what is your career, your life path, almost like what's your stable goal. Yeah. That's what's heavy on your mind, is how are you going to do this? What does it entail? What's true? What's false? How do I navigate this being like a little fish in a big pond? What is the future? You know, justice came up in the pre-shuffle, and that was the one thing that was telling me to be sure to listen to your intuition more so than the people around you. And I think that is true, and I think that is just confirming that whatever you're not sure of, and someone comes along like, oh yeah, don't worry about that, that's blah 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 blah, and you're like, I don't think that is what it is. Something is up. Yeah, so when you start seeing things like that, listen to yourself. No matter how small of a fish you are, if something feels wrong, it is, and just move on to the whatever the next thing might be, or just get out of that situation. Listen to yourself. You're not wrong. Current energy, temperance. Yeah, I think you're definitely finding like a new, like, your happy place is yourself type of thing. You know, you're probably super, like, calm about things, I think, right now. Maybe because you're, like, again, assessing, like, figuring out, like, how do I do this? How do I put everything I've learned together, and make it for something I really feel like it's a big, like, this is your path. Like, maybe before, you, like, had other responsibilities and you weren't necessarily the first, you know, person on your list to take care of. And we have the star. Oh, that one we can't show. Let's make sure we cover everything. So the star, for your current energy for temperance, yeah, look at all that water and earth. So you're feeling out your emotions, you're feeling out your intuition, you're I feel like you're working towards possibly a spiritual path, especially with temperance kind of being an earth angel as well vibe. I think you are learning to follow your path. Again, I feel like this is all about you. Figuring out what it is that you actually want to pursue. Yeah, see? You're sharpening your tools, your skills, your knowledge. You're probably reading books, you're probably watching webinars, you're probably self-helping it, you're maybe learning about religions. Maybe you're trying to take an online class for whatever it is you're trying to pursue, or deciding what tools you want to utilize. I think you've learned a lot in this little journey, and I feel like you have a lot of avenues open to you, and I think that's part of the problem. Yeah, you're really going within and you're doing a lot of work on yourself. Something, you had a huge revelation about something, because I feel like you might even, you're definitely newly spiritual or newly religious, because of something that happened, something profound happened. What's the environment? Yeah, you're working hard. You're working hard while you're, again, the victory after the battle. I feel like the Chariot is kind of a nod to the same type of thing, you know, that pause before you're making your move forward, to kind of map out the road. You know, the Fool is the pause before you start the journey, like deciding which way you want to go. The Chariot is gonna be, after this, you're back from your victory, and you're like, okay, now what? And you're mapping out the decision you made, you know, as a Fool. Well, the Fool part brought you here, and now it's, you're mapping out your next part of your journey, and you're working hard to try to make sure you do it right. Something happened, and you have definitely learned lessons of responsibility. Something has definitely made you grow up regardless of how old you are, we don't all grow up when we're adults, right? Something happened to make you serious about your future. What is the hope and fears? What is this Tower? What is this fear? Fear of failure, right? What is this Tower for my collective? This came up upside down in reverse. I don't have reversals in here usually. You've definitely had some trauma from a tower in your past, so your hopes and fears, you're traumatized. You're afraid it's whatever happened is gonna happen again. So that's why you're so diligently making sure you're ready and analyzing every offer the way you are. You definitely have. You've probably been bamboozled by many different people across many different aspects of your life, because that's like depression. That is like serious, can't get out of your head. Like your thoughts are going down, like they're dark. Give me one more of that. Tell me, is there anything on the hope side? Because this is like definitely wicked. Anxiety, or maybe it's just like hopeful. It doesn't. I think that's what it is. I think it's. Oh, you're so scared almost. Yeah, I think that you're hopeful you can start to see things in a different perspective, probably once things start to become stable. What's this Empress for the last card for this? Let's see, Empress for the possible outcome. You definitely have the experience, girl. Or boy. But you're able to keep your, like, nurturing side about you, which is good considering it looks like you were definitely in some darkness, and possibly still are at times fighting it. Trauma really sneaky. And the people who think that cause it always act like it was so long ago. Well, yeah. Tell me about the Empress, please. Yeah, I think, well, you know, as life does, I think that's a good sign that your life is just going to be going on. It's going to seem normal, but you're going to be standing different because you're the Empress, right? Even the Queen of Cups, you're a little bit more temperance, nice. And look at all that balance. You're finding your, I think this is going to be a nod to your mental stability too, because when you go through stuff like that, it's like, when you're out of it and you look back, you're like, whoa, I was not thinking very clearly. Yep. Bottom of this deck, appropriately, the new beginning after this awful ending you had. Hopefully you can put an end to your understandable anxiety. Let's do a quick little once over one more time. Let's see if there's anything specific I want to take a look at. I want to see more about, I kind of get this, everything. I do want to see more about the past. What about the past? What got us here? Tell me about the past, please, Spirit. Just so I can have maybe a little more clarity on the trauma they had, maybe that they were victorious over. Yeah, that's some more confirmation you have the strength to be independent and build your life back up. And it wasn't flashy, it was, again, I think you saw an opportunity for something. One more. Yeah, I think you just got away from whatever chaos was in your life holding you back, basically. Tell me about these hopes and fears. I want to know more about those. Tell me about the tower and the anxiety and the new perspective. Yeah, you're remembering. Yeah, oh my God, you're so getting triggered. What is triggering them? What's triggering the collective? What's making them so worried? This is the first time you've done it on your own. It might be something like that. You know what, maybe you have to travel away from your family. And you're really scared about it. Oh, yeah, you might, yeah. Whatever, that might be part of the decision too. You know, maybe, yeah, you might have to travel for work. That might be the next part. And you might be, that's what you might be having anxiety about, the disruption in your life. And you're trying to see things in a different perspective. Because you're hoping, wherever it is you're going to be going, you're going to be away from your family, and you're hoping you're going to make connections there. Tell me about what is this that's on Collective's mind. Tell me about this Emperor and the Seven of Cups. Remember what the message, be careful about these offers. Just be careful about the offers. I think regardless of what you choose, you know, you're gonna come through because you have the experience. You're the Empress, and you have, yeah. I think no matter what, you're gonna be fine. See, this is a warning before too. There's a warning about this offer. And that's what's on your mind. You don't know what's real. Use your intuition. One more to this. What's this Emperor? The Emperor is probably the business owner giving you the offer, and you're like contemplating it. You're looking at all the pros and cons, trying to read contracts and all the stuff before you decide, because that could be the move, you know. Yeah, look at that. The illusion. Be careful of an offer that's coming in. Yeah, you have to really listen while you're making that decision. Yeah. Tell me about the possible final outcome a little bit more. Yeah, this current energy now to Temperance, trying to be patient and balanced and scrutinize everything with the Hermit and see exactly what they're bringing to this table. And you're definitely calling on the divine to help you on this path. You're waiting, good girl or boy. Yeah, you're waiting to see what comes out of the woodwork before you make your final decision, and that's good. Yeah. You're probably waiting to see what other offers are out there. Even if you move, even if you're in a new place and this happens then, that's okay. Maybe this is just getting you there. Don't be afraid to move. What are they waiting to come in? What are they waiting for? Yeah, trying to pause and see things from a different perspective still. Yep. And what are they seeing? They may not tell you. the Fool and the Nine of Cups, you're deciding what path to start to that's going to be best for you. Perfect. Perfect. You're assessing everything that's coming in, and you are ultimately going to take the path that is what is your happiness. And why are you doing this? Because that's what you learned, and that's why you're victorious, and that's why you've been given this opportunity. Tell me about the near future. Yeah. So, you know, the universe is giving you a chance to utilize your skills. Near future, that's what we're looking at. Near future, the moon and justice. Could be karma for a Pisces. That's relevant. King of Pentacles. You know what? And the King of Pentacles came out, I was taking that as the main person in the story. And that's what they were warning about. Yep. So, could be, especially with the Emperor too, it could be an earth sign they're telling you to be aware of. That's the business owner that's giving you the offers. Yeah, because he's going to try to walk around like, or he or she, they're going to try to come across like this, some type of big shot. Seeing you green, I don't need better. Yep. And then, that's when it sets in. When you start having interactions with this person, you start having like the doubt and the oh my gosh and the yeah. And you're like, I've been through so much, like what do I do? How can I give up this? Yeah. Is there any last bit of advice for collective? What's the last bit of advice? What's the last bit of advice from their future self? Go after what you love. Whatever path is going to bring you to your happiness. That's the answer. The bottom of this deck, Three of Swords. Three of Swords is, it's a definite heartache, and I definitely think that's why you're so, cautious. But also remember, it's not in your mind. Like, it's not that it's not real, but if you keep thinking about it, you're reopening the wound, so to speak. Let's get what it is. My little guys. So, I think you'll be okay. I understand you're trying to figure out the best way to move forward with your life, and it's going to be confusing because you've never done this stuff before. Whatever it is you're coming into. And because Spirit is guiding you, they are giving you the warning of a particular offer, person, company, whatever, that is not what it seems. And when you get that little ding, because I think you're going to have a lot of offers coming in. I think you are more qualified for a lot of different things that maybe you didn't realize in the past because you weren't able to live up to your full potential. But I think you know you have more options, so you're a little more able to have that fear of failure, have that weariness, have that opportunity to take a breath and do research on the person or company or whatever, you know, and that's what you need to do. That's the patience, that's taking the time, that's using the Hermit to the best abilities. Yeah, don't be afraid. Because even if you do, I don't know if it's a far move. It doesn't. It could be the next city. You know, I don't know. It could be a different country. But whatever it is, even if you go out there and that doesn't work out, maybe you're supposed to just be out there. So don't think too heavy about that. If it's a good opportunity, it makes sense. Just go. Just go. Embrace your shadow. You need your shadow to appreciate your light. You know, and some of those things you learned in the shadows are going to be useful to navigate life in general. Your shadow's not bad. You have to acknowledge it. It's part of who we are and helps us be the best we can by utilizing all of our skills. You know, things you've learned in the shadow, in your shadow aspect, is going to help you recognize when you come across those things again. Okay, my friends. I hope this is useful. Keep going. Try not to obsess too much. Like, analyze, yes. Be aware, yes. Try not to be too afraid and too, you know, trigger shy. Because you got this. You have come a long way. That's why the first opening messages were, you have come a long way. Don't worry about how far you have left. Because it's never done. Don't rush it, because we're all heading to the end. And you don't want to rush it to the end. Enjoy the trip. Alright, like and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.